Hi everyone, welcome back to the Homespun Yak. Kyle and I were just yakking about the president making some great choices. Don't you agree, Kyle?
Well, it's new.
Yeah.
It's just insane that you can go from we did we talk about the actual debate already, or like as far as what happened in the debates
No, because you said that was that. So we recorded right before
the
the
day
debate because
before?
you said later tonight it's gonna go off or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah,
That's right.
just
Yeah,
hours before.
yeah.
It
So the
just
debate went
feels
really
like,
well.
yeah. I mean, that's the first thing I would say is that, man, I was just really um, just just refreshing to see um, really civil and intellectual debate and conversation between two adults, and I mean, it was just really something that people needed to see after what a sort of a rough year and a crazy campaign trail.
Yeah, yeah, I concur. I do wonder like what the presidency would be like if the presidency was a standalone thing. Like it was just this one person, no help, like no cabinet, nothing else. Because I really feel like you don't have the most right now. We don't have the most intelligent people in vying for the presidency. So you really
Right.
just like you genuinely just throwing up your hands and saying, "Well, I just hope that the cabinet turns out okay. That the people around them are just like somewhat sane."
Yeah, with the schedules and the speeches, and I don't know. It just, with every president, they have an official speech writer. So
Mm.
I don't know with how busy they are if they have like if they ever write a speech themselves, or they just are like,
Yeah,
it looks good. Like, let's
yeah.
go.
They're
I
essentially
trust you.
puppets.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
are. That's essentially
Yeah.
what they
And
are.
I feel like Trump has been one of the first people to just be like, I'm going to wing it.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
like with the debate, he's just like, no, I didn't prepare. I didn't
yeah,
prepare. It's going to be fine.
yeah.
Wasn't fine.
No, it wasn't fine. It wasn't
No
fine.
one thought it would be, but of course, the diehards on his side are saying he totally owned Biden, and then the Biden people are saying that there's no way he even came close to winning because Joe got the better of him.
Yeah, with his wit, with his quick wit.
His quick wit. Hey, you gonna listen to this clown? I'm sorry. I'm
Just
sorry, man.
shut up, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, so to
yeah.
go from that madness and chaos, which everybody's pretty much numb to at this point,
Oh,
to
yeah.
then just like, oh, Trump has COVID now. So does, or at first it was Cam Newton, and then it was Trump that both had COVID,
Yeah.
and
Coincidence?
I
I
don't.
think not.
That's another conspiracy. Uh, and it was just like, yeah, I mean, it just shows you how insane 2020 really is when it's like, yeah, the president has COVID now. What's gonna happen in a week from now, or even a day from now? Just something even more bizarre and wild.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you just saw the report of Trump leaving the hospital to go wave to people.
Oh, no, I didn't see. I saw a couple hours ago, I saw like the doctors from that hospital come
Yeah.
out and say, hey, we got him on these medications and we expect him to, be able to get out of here in a couple days at most. So no, nothing really to worry about at this point. But I did not see the most recent development. What do you got?
So so Trump apparently said fuck that to the doctors, and he
Okay.
created this little video which I really don't listen to much of what Trump says, but mainly because, I mean, why would I? But uh, he says nothing throughout the entire video. He's just talking. He's talking about the people outside are very enthusiastic, and they're holding Trump signs. So he's just talking about their enthusiasm for the entire video, and then he's like, and this video will probably come out right about the time that I go out there to greet them. So he left. Yeah, he left the hospital, was in a Secret Service car, with a bunch of other cars, and just with a mask on, just he didn't leave his car. He was inside the car, but he's just waving inside the car to people. They were completely surprised by his appearance, which I can imagine. But of course, like the Secret Service people are like, "Great, thanks."
Yeah,
Now
like
we
giving away. Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they don't feel great about being potentially exposed to
Oh, I
to
know.
coronavirus, knowing that the guy has it. But
Got to take a bullet for him now. COVID.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's the most recent development. I was also thinking because I was looking on CNN, and obviously CNN is going to be like, "What was he thinking? Blah blah. He's so stupid." Blah blah. Like we've talked about in the past. I I'm not a huge fan of journalism in general, although I understand its necessity and I respect that it's necessity. But how how boring must your life be as a journalist to sit there and report on Donald Trump? I mean, to just be like, we have to question if his decisions were a
Yeah,
good choice and whatnot. It's like, but in like tomorrow, next week, a year from now, your journalism doesn't matter. Like it just it's all
I
within
know.
that cycle of like a couple
Yeah.
hours that it's important, and then you just move on to the next thing. It's like your existence, your job just doesn't seem to do anything. I guess that's true of a lot of jobs, though. I don't know. It just
Well, I mean,
it just
it's
throws
it's
me
just
off.
yeah, it's just such a uh, difference from what journalism used to be, even
Yeah,
political
yeah, yeah.
journalism,
Absolutely.
because now it's like people want the news or whatever gossip news it is now about most likely Trump or whatever's going on around the White House. And they want it in real time, which that is the benefit you can get now from all these outlets and social media. It
Mm.
allows you to get info right as it's happening. But, it's like once that happens, they're like, all right, what's next? Now go now. Like it's not a piece where it's like, Christopher Hitchens writing for the Vanity Fair, in the 90s about the Clinton administration, which a lot of that stuff still, was going on at the time about his impeachment and all that. And it was written in a way that like it's a historical document of what was going on, and you can actually learn from that and take away
Oh yeah.
certain things from the past and apply it to the future. But now it's just like 10-second things that are like boom. I mean, Trump's doing it as well with Twitter too. It's like he said so many insane and ridiculous things on Twitter that by the time you tell somebody or you're like, can you believe this? It's like, well, that was like 2 hours ago, man. He's done 200 more by then. Like, get
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
That's old news. So, yeah, but he's back and he's going to be tweeting again, I'm sure, soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking when he was releasing those videos of like how he was doing and whatnot. I was thinking like who put the makeup on that dude? Like and all that, Like I'm sure they were like, God, I need to get close to this guy just so he can
I
release a
know, just
video.
right. It's like it's not that important, man. Like, is he? I don't know. I guess he can just. I have no idea what the procedures are as far as quarantining, and then is the next debate even going to happen? I don't know. I don't know what implications are.
Isn't it supposed to be like Wednesday or something like that? Or
I don't
sometime
know.
pretty
It might.
soon.
Yeah, yeah, there's three, and they're all pretty close together. So I can imagine it would impact that.
Yeah, I know Joe Biden said that he was preparing to go to the next debate. So I mean,
Okay.
I guess we'll find out
And then he
what
said
Trump
in the
does.
debate, he's like, "This guy wears the biggest mask you've ever seen. He stands 300 feet away from people." And like the next day,
Yeah,
he's got COVID.
yeah, and he was. I think I don't know the details of this exactly, but Trump was in an interview with Fox News, and he had already tested positive for coronavirus, but he didn't tell anyone until the second test came back positive as well. So I don't
Mm.
know. I don't know what the deal was. I'm assuming that wasn't in person though. Like I don't know, but whoever, I mean, obviously staff have to be around him, right? So it's not like he's ever alone. So those
Hmm.
people, none of them knew, is my understanding. So he's just like holding this information, and like in our lowly existence outside of the presidency, I mean, you'd be sacrificed if you had a positive test and you're like, I'm just not going to tell anybody for a day. Yeah,
They found out that you got like your whole office infected or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, there'd be a public stoning.
Yeah, yeah. But Trump's like, yeah, who cares? I just hold out.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
Not a problem. I'm telling you, it's not that bad. It's not
it's
that
not,
bad.
it's not that bad. Yeah,
But yeah, he's obviously I don't wish anything bad on anyone who's got COVID, but I don't know, he's kind of in that range of, the older section of where there's been a lot of deaths, and then he's pretty much overweight, so that doesn't help either. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't know if there still is, but I guess initially, when you look at all the other conditions that he's got, I think initially people are like, "Oh my God, he might not make it."
yeah. I know a lot of people that do wish extreme harm on him, like to the point where they're like,
Oh, I
I don't
know.
actually care if he dies. That's fine. Yeah, it's
So like Rocky Four, Ivan Dragoff to Apollo Creed. If he
yeah,
dies, he dies.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or
And
just
maybe
actively
Russia was
saying,
saying that too.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Oh
Uh,
no, just straight face. If he dies, he dies.
yeah, exactly. I I mean, it's tough. It's tough to root for someone who actively has hurt so many people. But I suppose, in all honesty, you could probably say that of any president ever, like prime minister, president, leader, anything. Like every decision you make is going to ultimately lead to devastation for one group of people or
Certain
another.
people, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. But then it just seems like with Trump, it's so extreme. Like he just goes out of his way to be like, I mean, come on. Like the coronavirus thing is not a political thing. It's turned into one, of course. But
Mm,
was
it
it
didn't
that
have
hard?
to go
Yeah.
there.
Was it that hard to just say like, hey, everyone wear a mask and, let's try and get on the same page to deal with this.
Yeah.
Instead, hundreds of thousands of people died, and which I'm sure people would have died regardless, but probably not to the degree that they did. And then the idea that he's,
Yeah, but it would have been 2 million with Sleepy Joe at the wheel.
oh yeah, I'm sure, because he would have fallen asleep halfway through his speech.
Yeah. What do we do? Oh God.
Yeah. But I mean, Trump is in this like suite. I mean, have you heard like what he has access
Oh
to?
yeah.
It's huge. I mean,
Presidential suite. Yeah.
he's getting like all these benefits and whatnot. And I mean, people are bringing up good points. Like he's getting all this like health care and whatnot. And meanwhile, you have people that are really struggling with healthcare and trying to deal with this whole COVID situation. It's like the president is within this bubble. I mean, the idea of the presidency is to be the first citizen, right? Like that's the original idea of the president. But there's no citizenship about it. It's very much like, yeah, I'm the first citizen. Like literally, I'm the first citizen. Like I'm the first priority over everyone. It
Right.
doesn't seem like it's an equal. Like, yeah, I have a lot of responsibilities and I need help with that. But like,
Right.
I'm also part of the collective. I mean, it's very much like in a bubble, and
Right.
I'll just pretend like I'm part of the collective. Which, of course, millions of people are buying in, as you can see by
Yeah.
Trump supporters.
Yeah. It's definitely the way that you, as a president, handle those kind of awkward situations where you're like clearly the number one priority, but instead of just being like, oh, of course I am, or just like embracing that sort of, I don't know, prestige in a pompous way, you could go about it in a little bit of a more humble manner, probably, and kind of get a little bit of the flack off of you. But yeah, I mean, with the way health insurance is now, I mean, I definitely understand why people would be pretty upset. But I mean, I have health insurance, and I went to the dermatologist just for a checkup because I'm, you know, fairly white person, and there is a risk that
Newsflash.
you want to get that your skin checked regularly, everybody, if you're a pale person, and got charged about 220 just for a general that's with insurance, by the way.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I'm like, do you? I don't know. It's just like, am I supposed to be like, you want me to be broke but have good skin, or you want me to like, be able to survive and, just, I guess I got to risk it now, like that's
Yeah.
how a lot of people feel is like, it just shocked me. I was like, wow. I mean, just for someone to just look at you with like a weird looking magnifying glass, you charge me over $200. And like, imagine if you don't have insurance or something, and something pops up on your skin, and you're like, I mean, do I roll the dice here because I don't have that
Mm-hmm.
much money, or do I just wait and see if it goes away? And first go, it's already escalated severely. I mean, it's just an incentive for people to not, go to their physician or get, adequate treatment that everybody should be entitled to, one way or the other. Like a physical, I feel like that at least should be free for everybody at least once a year. It
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't just be like, oh, your insurance allows you to have one free physical a year. It should be everybody. And then like as you do elective sort of things and different levels of treatment, if you have to go in, I mean, you can assess that with higher fees, but it's just not an incentive for people to go just to get blood work or do a general checkup, which is pretty important.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And yet we have this situation.
I know.
Yeah, it's really unfair.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more insight into healthcare in the next debate. I don't think they focused on that a lot in the first debate. I just had to turn it because like at first was like I just was laughing at it, and then it became like really cringy.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I just had to like put my hands over my face, and then I was just like, all right, this is now sad and I can't deal with it anymore.
Yeah. I didn't watch any of it. I mean, I watched highlights after the fact, but I I mean, it's Trump. Like It's
Yeah.
going to be like that with the second debate. I guess third debate. Yeah, they got 3 debates, so
Yeah, I
it's
think they're
gonna.
trying to mute his microphone when it's not his time.
They're going to have to put him in a box and then mute his microphone. I mean, no
Like
joke.
have him like Hannibal Lecter out there with
A
like
hundred. Yeah,
the mask and everything.
yeah,
So he can't walk around or speak when he's not allowed to speak. The
yeah,
guy's like, you've been interrupting like way more than him.
yeah.
Like it's his turn to speak. Like I don't know what to do, but just to be like, you guys need to stop. And he's like, well, he's been doing it too. Is this
We have
He's
flashbacks
like,
to
well, tell him
kindergarten.
too. Yeah. He's like, tell him too. And he's like, you're doing it more than him.
Yeah.
He's like, he does it a lot.
Yeah, it's. I have zero hope for the next few debates, but ultimately the idea,
Oh
like,
yeah.
I don't know how nobody thought about this. Like, hey, they're probably gonna. I mean,
Remember
Trump's
last
probably gonna
time?
steamroll. Yeah, yeah. Remember? Yeah, exactly. Remember last time?
You'd be in jail.
Yeah,
That was a zinger from last time. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they change the format at all. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. What I thought was interesting from that was Telemundo, which is like the biggest Spanish news outlet
hmm.
in, I guess, North America. I think it's Mexican. 66% of people said that Trump won from the Telemundo poll.
Wow.
But it was just like, that was a pretty big majority. I don't really know what to do with that information, but I thought that was like the most kind of head scratching poll of the debate, or the aftermath of it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty discouraging. It just because it also kind of sets a precedent then for hopefully, I mean, hopefully not, but future leaders, if that's president, vice president, or going into like Senate or whatever it might be, that you can just talk over someone. It just doesn't matter what you say, just talk over them, and
Yeah,
that'll come off as if you're a dominant presence.
yeah. I think the vice presidential debate will be a little bit more civil, but
I agree. Yeah.
I don't know if people will really tune in as to the levels that they did with the regular one.
No, no, I don't think so. I've actually, I think I've heard Mike Pence speak once in my life, so I don't know.
Yeah, I remember like the first week that Trump was in the White House, like they were having all these meetings with people and like introductions and all this stuff. And they were both at this big table, and there was like, 3 or 4 different women, like 4 or 5 different guys at the table. And he's like, Mike, you nervous at this table? Your wife's not here. He's not allowed to be without his wife.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
Just nodded
may
stoically.
I speak, sir?
Oh, good gracious. Yeah. Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe he won't speak at the debate because he'll be in a room with Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife doesn't trust me to speak to other women.
Uh,
For the Lord says.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
But
another issue.
luckily, South Park is back to
Make fun of everything.
make fun of everything, put everything in perspective.
Yeah.
They did. They released an hour-long episode called the Pandemic Special, which, if no one has seen it, I highly recommend trying to find it and watch it. It's pretty great.
Mm. I might check that out.
It's really good. But but yeah, that's pretty much. I don't know if we have any other developments from the COVID thing. I guess he's just going straight back now.
Yeah, he went back exactly. So who knows? I mean, his oxygen was kind of low. It was at like 94%, but I mean, it's not necessarily life threatening.
Crazy bad, yeah.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe he just got lucky, which I mean, much to the
Would
chagrin
figure.
of a lot of people.
Oh man. Yep. I definitely got some texts about it from people who are not his biggest admirers.
Really? Huh.
But yeah, um, just like, a guy texted me like he's like, when I found out, it was like a conversation between him and his son. And he's just like woke his son up, like, guess what, son? Trump has COVID. And he's like, yes, Dad. And you know what we call that, son? And he's like, karma. And he's like, I raised you right, son. And it was just like, all right. Thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
family story with me. It's kind of effed up, but got ya. Um, but anyway, pretty wacky day in sports so far today as well. Well, obviously with Cam Newton not being able to play, that really sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, against the
I
Chiefs, right?
Yeah,
Against the Chiefs.
which I guess that game might be postponed now.
Well, it's postponed to Monday at the moment, but like I don't see
Okay.
how that. Like I think the Patriots said they'll still play, which seems like an absolutely idiotic idea to play the Chiefs without Cam Newton
I know.
because no
It's
other
a-
Patriot players
This
tested
could be
positive.
Bill Belichick strategy, the master plan.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Psych, he didn't have it.
and here he comes, running out of the tunnel.
Yeah, I really hate that for him because he worked so hard to get to another team. But I mean, hopefully he won't miss too many games because of it.
Yeah, probably just like 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. Well, hopefully it won't be too bad. Yeah, sports have been pretty crazy. I have avoided most sports. I mean, once the NBA finals started, I didn't watch any of that because I knew, especially. I mean, last time we spoke, it was right that it hadn't
Before
started,
game one.
and then Bam
Adebayo.
Adebayo, thank you. He got injured, and so did Dragic. At that point, I was like,
Jimmy
well, okay,
Butler
I mean,
got banged up.
yeah, they already have a slim chance of winning the series, and now you're
Yeah.
taking out two of their starters. Are you kidding me? Like the fact that
Of course.
they were even somewhat competitive in game two was a shock. It's
I know.
it's just
Yeah,
stunning.
it's just the worst luck ever. And like you said, everybody had to play like the best games they could possibly play. Every player on the Heat
Yeah,
had to have a near perfect game to be able to win. And then Anthony Davis has to have like a mediocre game when that happens. And
yep,
yeah, now if they're out, I mean, game three's tonight. If they don't win this game, it's 100% over in a game four sweep,
oh yeah,
which really sucks.
I think once Adebayo went out and Dragic, I don't think he's coming back because he's got a tear in his plantar. That's
Yeah,
that's
that's
devastating. Um,
yeah,
so
that's just not doable.
no, so I think I mean I told my friend who's a huge Miami Heat fan. I told her that I think it's going 4-0 at this point. I
Oh
mean after the
yeah,
first game, I was like it's over.
if any one of their starters goes out, it's over in 4. If 2, it's definitely over in 4.
Mm-hmm. It's over in
Dragic has
3.
been like their best. Yeah, it's over in 1. It's over now.
Yeah.
I guess the only good thing is that there are no fans there to celebrate and support and cheer the Lakers on.
Yeah.
They're just going to be celebrating by themselves.
Yeah. I
And
won't
then
be watching.
everybody's going to say, I mean, it's the bubble. It doesn't really count. And then LeBron's going to say, yes, it does.
I'm the
I'm
GOAT.
the great. That made me the greatest right there.
Yeah.
He said it's the hardest thing he's ever done in his life.
With a
Really?
shortened schedule, in a bubble,
In
completely
a
controlled
bubble,
environment,
playing basketball.
playing basketball. There's
With
no home
Anthony
court
Davis.
advantage for the other teams ever. You have a far superior team to every team you've played. The Rockets lost one of their starters. Then they played the Nuggets, who, I mean, Jokic is awesome and Murray's awesome, but beyond that, that was it. Who else? The Trailblazers, they just completely blew out. And then they played in the finals. They played the Heat with 2 of their starters out. Okay, it's the hardest road, all right.
Yeah, hardest thing he's ever done. Yeah, he's pretty insufferable sometimes, but yeah, I mean, it just sucks that those guys got injured, and oh well, hopefully next season it'll be sort of back to normal. And I did see that Doc Rivers got fired from the Clippers.
Yeah, and hours later got picked up by the 76ers. That was pretty funny.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. But today has been particularly wackadoo in the world of soccer because this morning Tottenham played Manchester United, and those are, considered the bigger clubs in the Premier League. And it looked pretty evenly matched going in. Tottenham don't have Gareth Bale yet because he's still not 100% fit. So it was kind of up in the air from what I saw in the beginning, but Manchester United won a penalty kick in 30 seconds, the first 30 seconds, and then they scored that. And it was like, oh, wow, that is the worst possible start you could have for Tottenham.
Seriously.
They get a goal not 2 minutes later, and it's tied. They end up winning 6-1.
What?
A guy got 6-1.
That's
and
nuts.
A guy got a red card. They're Manchester United's forward early in the first half because there was a corner, and people are pushing and shoving. One guy in Tottenham shoved him like this, and his arm slid up and kind of went into his chin, and then he just slaps him. He just kind of slaps him in the face, and the ref was right there, and he just red card, straight red. And so after that happened, it was just the goals just kept raining in, and it was very embarrassing. But even crazier than that, a game that started after that only ended a few hours ago was Liverpool versus Aston Villa. And Liverpool won the title last year very early, very convincingly. They're the favorites as well this year because they have basically the same squad. Even they've added some players. And Aston Villa on the very last day of the Premier League salvaged enough points to remain in the Premier League, 17th place.
Yeah.
And then they had huge celebrations just because they thought they were going down. They're we stayed up, so we're gonna party. And they beat Liverpool 7-2.
Wow.
I don't even know if Liverpool has ever had 7 goals scored against them in their history.
Yeah.
It just, I didn't see the whole game, but like, it's just very wild, high scoring games in soccer today. So that was, now no one really knows what's going to happen, but there's still a very, very long road to go in the
What do
Premier
you mean
League.
nobody knows? Like,
As far as like everybody coming into this game, it was like Liverpool were, I mean, there's only been 4 games so far, but Liverpool have won all 3 of their previous games, and only like 2 or 3 other teams have won their previous 3, and like bigger teams have lost some games and tied, like Man City and Man United.
mm-hmm.
And people are like, I guess Liverpool's going to just run away with it. That's kind of been the narrative early on.
Yeah.
But now it's like, wow, they look like a different team now in a way. But I mean, it's still very early, but it just kind of evened things out a lot for a lot of kind of underdog moves to start happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So now everybody
which makes
thinks,
it way more interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the best kind of race. So now Aston Villa is going to win it.
Oh God, if you put money on Aston Villa beating Liverpool just at all today, you probably made a lot of money in general. But if you put money on them to win the Premier League and they win that, you would make a killing.
Yeah.
An absolute killing. But no, I don't think they're going to win. But it's a lot more fun when it's like, 5 or 6 games left of the season and there's still 2-3 teams in the running for, there's different scenarios that could play out with top 4, bottom 3, the winner of it all. Whereas last year it was like, it was done pretty early.
Yeah, that sucks.
And then they're like, all right, who's going to go down now?
Yeah, right.
It's always a fight at the bottom. Who's going to stay up?
Scrappy teams.
There's always drama there.
Is it always one team that gets kicked out, or how many?
3 teams.
3 teams. Okay, so there's 20 teams total.
Yeah, there's 20.
And 3 get knocked down, and then 3 get replaced.
Right, from the league below.
Okay. I got
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I do wish that soccer, not that I really watch it, except for the when the countries play. I do wish soccer would go to some format where you have like a playoff or something, because it would be incredibly disappointing. Like, I can understand the race at the end, but it'd be just so unbelievably disappointing to be like halfway through a season already know who's going to win it. And I don't know, for me, I just wouldn't have any incentive to continue watching.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rare that like a month or more out who the official winner is, but the past couple seasons it's been like that. Which I would always prefer it to be more competitive. In the league below, they have a playoff between the 2 through 5th place teams. So if you finish first place, you automatically go up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, maybe that's not how it works, but there's a playoff in the league below. And if you win the playoff, you get promoted.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that'd be nice.
So maybe 1 and 2 go up, and then 3 through 6 have a playoff, and the winner of that goes up.
Yeah.
So that's always exciting too.
But it's such an off thing though. Like, all right, we're the 3rd team of all the lower division to
20,
go in against a much harder schedule. This is so exciting. Like, I mean, how do you
And
get up? How do you get?
that team is getting worked right now. It's a team called Fulham, and they are just getting demolished
I,
right now in the
I can
Premier League.
imagine. Yeah. So how do you get up out of bed like every day if you're a Fulham player? You barely made it into the Premier League, and then you
You barely, and then you're just gonna get smacked
you
right
get
out.
destroyed. Yeah. Welcome
Just
to the
can't even
league,
touch the
big
ball.
leagues. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's just all about there's this transfer window period where all teams have the ability to buy players, and then when the window closes, which is tomorrow, you're cut off until the next January period opens
Yeah.
back up
Yeah.
again, and you can do business and buy players. But Fulham, they're like the director of operations like sent out a tweet after they lost, and he's like, "We tried to buy these guys." Like he wasn't ready. Like this guy got hurt. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like we suck, basically.
Oh, that's good.
And yeah, if they can't buy anybody, like they're trying to buy defenders and all this stuff, and it's just not going to work out.
We're bolstering our defenses. Don't worry, folks. Oh man, that's
We'll be
good.
back next week. Yeah, but I think the coach at because Manchester United made a pretty big buy, and they already have a pretty stacked squad. But I think they're buying. I don't know. They're just focusing on all the wrong pieces right now.
Mm.
And it just seems like nobody's really up for it and inspired by the coach, or everybody's kind of all over the place. Haven't found a good starting rotation or formation that works well. And I think he's probably out the door soon. Because I was thinking about it, like when Doc Rivers was fired, he had been there for what, 7 years for the
Yeah,
Clippers,
pretty
and
decent amount of time.
never made it to one. Maybe he made it to one conference finals. Made the playoffs, but never, did anything
Yeah.
really successful.
Yeah, when it was Lock
And
City.
and when you're like at a really big, if you're in the Premier League in general and you just don't win, like, and you're at a bigger club, there's no way in hell you're going to be given 7 years to like, we're going to just ride this out and stick with this guy. I mean, there's an argument that you can make that maybe they should be more patient sometimes, because it can be like a new guy comes in and then like 3-4 months later, it's like, all right, you're done. You just you didn't win a single game. It's all your fault. We're bringing in somebody new.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see like people come and go every season as coaches in the Premier League. It is like incredibly cutthroat sometimes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's definitely like a sweet spot, but I think for Man U, I think it's probably, I would say it's run its course with the current coach, but we'll see.
How long has he been there?
He's been there now. I think this is going to be his third season starting now. Maybe second and a half. He might have come in halfway, but with a club like Man United, people just expect you to win.
Oh yeah.
And he's now had time to go after people he wanted to make his own team, and if it does start coming together soon, then I think he's gonna get a boot out the door.
Well, I mean, 2.5 years is plenty of time. You'd think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just there's a lot of factors that go into it, but yeah, Premier League is very cutthroat.
I wonder, talking about the same subject but in a different sport, I wonder if the Dallas Cowboys are considering if they've potentially made a mistake by hiring Mike McCarthy, which as I've said, when I was a Packers fan, I couldn't stand his play calling. Just incredibly conservative. And now they're 1-3, having lost to the Browns, getting crushed by the Browns. And, at home. And they should be 0-4. It just so happened that the Falcons really blew it again. And then they blew it the week after as well.
Bad.
Again. Yeah. With the Dallas Cowboys, they blew it so badly. I wonder what's going to happen. I mean, if they had gone 0-4, the Cowboys going 0-4, that would literally have to win
every other game.
That would have been so funny. Yeah. So,
oh my God! Yeah,
because they were talking a big
trash.
Game. Yeah, they were talking a big game. So I am excited.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we don't have a defense. Let's just draft this wide receiver.
Okay. Yeah. What was CeeDee Lamb?
He's great.
Isn't his name? Yeah.
He's really good, but I don't know. I'd probably want to focus on some defense.
Maybe.
As well. But I don't know. That's the Cowboys' way, I guess.
That's the Cowboys'
I did see the Panthers got another win, second win in a row.
Yeah. Good
Coming
team.
back, like I said.
I
never doubted us.
Like if you've got a quarterback like Teddy Bridgewater, or if you've got a quarterback when I look at teams, they have to have at least a decent quarterback. Not the best, but like decent, like pretty good. And Teddy Bridgewater is not terrible by any means, but he's pretty good. But I just don't have any confidence in any team to win the Super Bowl if they don't at least have a decent quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all the previous Super Bowls in recent memory, and it's like elite quarterbacks: Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes,
Tommy
Rodgers, Brady, obviously, which I think they got smashed today.
Who?
The Bucks.
Oh, they won.
Oh, they won?
Yeah, they came back from like 21 points down. He scored 5 touchdowns, so he he brought it back against the Chargers. Yeah, that was crazier than your soccer stories, Kyle.
I bet.
You better praise the Brady.
Those highlights. My God, I know. Wow. And there are fans there too. Fans in Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't see.
And at the Panthers.
All right. Oh yeah.
5,000 strong.
Out of how many that can be in there? Like 70,000 or something?
Yeah, 70 plus.
Yeah. It's such a weird sports story. But I'm glad that they actually have sports.
Oh my God. If they don't have sports right now, if they didn't have NFL right now, or soccer or NBA, I mean, especially in this country, NFL, I think there'd be a lot more murders, a lot more
by specifically
a lot more domestic
rednecks.
Abuse. Yeah. A lot more hitting of the wives, a lot more hitting of the children. Yeah, it would be bad.
It's terrible. When I think about NFL, I do have a certain like visual of like the type of people that watch, and that are really die-hard NFL fans. You know, it's the same people that complain about like the kneeling of the players. You know, that kind of mentality of like it's disrespectful to the flag and all that stuff.
Yeah, if you're that guy who, you're probably the guy that just throws stuff and screams at the TV, and I mean, and that's all over the country, really.
Oh yeah, all over the country, for sure.
Especially Philadelphia right now.
Oh,
they blow.
They really do suck. They really suck. I'm curious. Yeah, I mean that the whole what is it? NFC? No, it's not NFC South.
Easter.
NFC East, maybe. Yeah, you might be right. But that entire division, whatever the division is with the New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles, Cowboys,
and the Washington football
and
team.
Washington football team, they suck. I mean, every
Yeah.
team there
The
is
Cowboys could win like
terrible.
5 games and just make the playoffs.
That would be so great. I would love to see that. Like just the shittiest team. Oh,
Because they
man.
are probably the best out of all those teams.
They are. I definitely think so. I never have any confidence in any of the 3 other teams.
Never.
Even when Philadelphia won the division, I think last year, I didn't have any confidence in them either.
No. Yeah, and yeah, I guess that Carson Wentz guy, he's kind of turning out to be a bust.
Didn't
Nick
he win the
Foles, they got
MVP
rid
one
of him.
year, or got
Yeah,
voted
like
or something like that?
yeah, something crazy. The year they won the Super Bowl, which he was hurt for,
Yeah, right.
and Nick Foles won, and then they just were like, "All right, thanks, get out of here." And he's like, "Okay, I guess I'll go to Jacksonville and then just be like benched for this guy Gardner Minshew,
Yeah.
and then I guess I'll go to the Bears and be benched for Trubisky, and then let me come in and fucking save the day."
Yeah, exactly.
And now, like, what are people thinking with this guy?
Foles is such
Like,
a
not
weird
starting
player.
that guy.
But he's such a
I
weird
know.
player because, like, once he's a starter, he's nothing. Like, he's nothing special. But when he's
He just
when
has
he's
to come
just
off the bench.
yeah, when he's coming in to rescue the game, like I feel like you have to trick his psychology and just like name someone else the starter and then play him after like the first series
Yeah.
of someone else playing. And like, you're the backup, don't worry. Go out
Yeah,
there
you
and
could do that.
suddenly he's like, "Oh, I can make every throw." I don't get it. I really don't get that.
I know. Let's see. I'm just looking at the scores now. Yeah, wow, the Bucks 38-31. Lions lost yet again. The Saints barely beat them.
Yeah.
The Bengals beat the Jaguars. I think Joe Burrow's going to have a really good career if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I like that guy. Rams beat the Giants. Colts beat the Bears. We were just talking about the Bears. Nick Foles. Wow, 19-11.
That's a barn burner.
Oh yeah. Freaking Phil Rivers getting it done.
Oh wait. Who does
Hey.
he play for now?
The Colts.
He plays for the Colts. Wow, I did not make that connection.
Yep. He had 190 and 1 touchdown today.
Nice.
Sweet.
This is so boring to watch.
Oh God, that must have been a nightmare of a game to watch.
Yeah. And then the Browns
Yeah.
absolutely demolished the Cowboys, which I was so happy about. Not that I don't even like especially like hate the Cowboys or anything. I just really don't like their fans. They're so delusional.
Yeah.
I've said this in the past. They're just so delusional, especially Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless. Yeah.
He's so delusional. It's just annoys me.
Yeah, and you're so biased that it influences your analysis on stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because then you just get tired of them talking about it all the time. It's like you do realize you guys lost like 4 weeks
Yeah,
in a
well,
row.
why are you talking about the positives? There's no positives
Exactly.
to speak of. There's none.
Exactly.
I hate that. I hate guys like that.
Yep.
Eagles play the Niners tonight. That'll be
Alright.
a terrible game. Now, yeah, I speaking of Skip Bayless, sort of related, but I saw this show with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Have you seen that? It's called All the Smoke.
Yeah.
I saw the one with Allen Iverson
Oh, okay.
that just aired. It was really good, and I think they have sort of he doesn't have an issue with Skip Bayless, but I think they talked about him a lot because he was like, talking about all the people that, shit talked him through his career. And one guy's like, was it Skip Bayless? And he's like, no, I'm actually cool with Skip. But he didn't mention a guy. He's like, he's like, I'm not a hateful guy, but there's only one person I hate, and it's this analyst. He didn't say the name, but he's like looked in the camera. He's like, I hate you.
Yeah.
I hate you, and I hate your dad.
Oh, that's funny.
But they didn't say who it was, but yeah, that show's pretty good. There's been some good episodes that I really like.
Well, they had Shannon Sharp on there.
Yeah.
And
I didn't see that one, but I saw they had him on.
He talked about Skip Bayless and how Skip really was like, we have to get Shannon. I will not do the show if it's not Shannon Sharp. And they had, as far as I know, they had never met. So, wow. It was either that or they had met like once. Like they did not have a relationship really. But Skip was just like so impressed by the way that Shannon spoke. And I agree. I mean, I like Shannon better than Skip, to be honest with you. I like Skip, I do, but he's just so insanely biased that it annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But Shannon is hilarious, incredibly intelligent, like knows so much about all kinds of different sports. I mean, they'll just say like 1961, and he's like, oh yeah, this particular team had this player, this player, this player, this player. It's just like, what? How do you know that? It's pretty remarkable. Yeah, he's really.
They definitely, when this First Take broke up with, I don't know how that happened with Stephen A. Smith and Skip, and then he formed that with Shannon. It's definitely way better than.
I don't even watch First Take anymore because of Stephen A. Like Stephen A. just yells and just. I know. He's just yelling all the time, and I can't. I just can't do it. Screaming. I can't do it. Yeah. I don't like Matt Kellerman either, to be honest. He's just boring. I don't know. I just don't. Yeah. I really don't like him.
Yeah, I don't like ESPN in general, but that's just my take.
All right. Well, I wanted to show you something. This is something I wanted to do last week, but I had to go, and we talked for like an hour and a half. So I'm going to throw up a video. So anybody listening to this, you'll be able to hear the audio, but if you'd like to actually see the video, you can check it out. To give you a bit of context on what this is a video of a couple that broke up a number of years ago. They were together for, I believe, 4 years. I'm trying to remember the details because it was last week. I've spliced the video, so it's not like the complete thing, but so it's not too long. It's a few minutes, but essentially it's just they're being interviewed. So the way it works for anybody who's just listening, they're being interviewed about how their relationship was and why it ended and how they first met and stuff. But each person has to have headphones on so that they can't hear the other person when they're talking. And then they take off the headphones and they talk with one another. So you get an independent answer from each person. Then they kind of deliberate together. And they have not seen each other since they broke up. Okay. So this is kind of a social experiment in a manner.
We met through mutual friends. I was barely becoming a freshman. He just graduated high school. We would just all hang out and like get boba together and just chill. And like Richard was like the driver of our group, so every single time we would hang out, he'll like pick everybody up and stuff. And he lived kind of close to my mom's house, so he would always pick me up first or drop me off last because we lived closest to each other. I thought he was cool. I was like, he has a car. This will really come in handy if I ever need a ride.
We met through like mutual friends. I didn't really find her that attractive in the beginning. And time passed, and then I realized, oh, she's kind of cute. I used to drive her basically everywhere to school to like get her makeup, especially makeup, clothes, to the mall. Man, it's like a lot of places.
Okay, so that was the first question, how they met. So they both answered that. So What did you notice, Kyle?
Well, wow. I noticed that she seemed to be in a relationship with him because it would be more convenient for her life, in that he was going to drive her around, and evidently that turned out to be correct because he admitted himself that he drove her not only to school but to get her makeup and
Right.
do other things. So she didn't seem I don't know. I don't know if I'm sure she's being honest about it.
I'm sure, yeah.
I'm sure they both are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's already pretty telling right there. When you get into something just because a guy's got a car, that's really not the best sign that things are going to pan out long term when you start talking about more serious issues. But we'll see how this plays out.
Okay.
Wonder who she'll blame.
Okay, so the next question is, who's to blame for the relationship ending? So just because they don't actually say it in the video.
I don't blame nobody. I don't blame him. I used to blame him. I blamed him a lot. And I feel like my current situation with my significant other now, the father of my child, sometimes when I argue and I lash out and I cry, I don't want to start crying right now too because it's going to get me upset. Dang. I say, oh, I blame Richard, because a lot of people know I got my body done. I got a BBL, so I got a new butt. And people thought like, oh, you got a new ass, so you want to switch up and leave Richard for your new man. But that wasn't the case. I was with him from the start. Like, he's seen me at my worst and he's seen me at my high. People think just because I'm on social media and I do this and I do that and I look a certain way, they think like, oh, any guy will be lucky to have you. Like, how come I can attract all these men on the internet that comment on my pictures, tell me that I'm beautiful and all this shit, but I have my own fucking man not doing the same to me, you know? Like, what do I have to do for you to see me and look at me away, you know? So it sucks because I know for a fact that I loved him way more than he ever loved me.
Okay, just real quick before he answers. Let's be real. At the beginning, he did say like he didn't find her attractive. And then like later on, like somehow was like, oh, now that I've hung out with this girl more, she's kind of cute, which is always the greatest compliment that anybody wants to receive.
Right.
After some time, you wear on the person and they end up with, they're kind of cute.
Yeah, that's exactly what you wanted. But is she questioning right now, like, why are all these men commenting on my Instagram that I'm hot, but no, you know, my man in real life would never say that to me in person?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what she's saying?
Well, yeah, and that's
because you're photoshopping yourself on Instagram and you're projecting an image that is not you. That's why people find you attractive, because it's not you. It's something that's made up and done in a way to attract people and attract comments in this fake world of social media. But when it comes down to it, like, you know, I think it's pretty. I mean, I'm not gonna comment on, you know, whether or not she's good looking or not, but you know, if you're projecting one image on social media that does not correspond to your image in real life, day-to-day activity, you know, you can't walk around in real life with a filter on that makes your face a certain, you know, gives it a certain clarity, or, you know, puts a certain makeup on it, or makes your body much slimmer. You know, that's not who you really are. And yeah, that's probably why. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it's really logical, right? You just, when we're seeing, let's say 20 frames per second or 25 frames per second. We're seeing a lot of frames. We're seeing a lot of pictures all within 1 second. So when a person takes a picture, they're really taking, let's say, like 100 pictures, and then they pick out the one picture that makes them look the best. So that's one frame. When we as humans see like 25 or 30 frames per second. So like if you're exposed to a person, you blow through that one picture that one person thinks that they're the most attractive in. So yeah, I mean, real life is obviously far more telling if a person is attractive or not. And I mean, granted, we'll see what he says. He's definitely not an angel.
Okay.
I would say it's kind of mainly my fault. I know what I did wrong was, I guess talking to other girls, which I shouldn't be, and also on her part, mainly like her peers who are around her, like her friends I told her not to hang out with, brought us into a standpoint where it's like, you choose your friends or you choose me.
Okay. So that's pretty shitty, right? Like talking to other girls when you're in a relationship, attempting to cheat, and then secondly, saying or being controlling, giving the ultimatum of you either hang out with your friends or with me, which is just such a weird thing. Like if you're not that attracted to your girlfriend, it seems like it's more of a power dynamic than in that situation. It's not about him actually being jealous. I don't know. It just seems like
it could definitely. Yeah, that's the way it seemed. I wish he would have gone into a little bit more detail as far as like, I didn't like her friends because they were being negative around her, or inspiring her to do things that were out of character. And I saw her going down a dark place, and her friends were kind of encouraging bad behavior. He didn't say all those things.
No.
If he did, then I would understand. Like, and then we had a conversation, and we kind of came to an agreement that like, your friends are not really who they say they are. They're not out for your best interest, and I'm just trying to show you that, and I don't want you to continue to hang around them and go down a destructive path. I don't want them to drag you down. But, if you choose to continue to do that, and after I've already voiced that and we both come to the agreement that you've done this, then you got to make a choice. Like if it was that, then I could see a little bit more on his side. But I think you're probably right in that he's just like, I don't like him, don't want to give him a shot.
Right.
So choose.
Yeah. And this is both of their sides now.
I mean, obviously, it was both of our fault, but it was mainly my fault. I mean, talking to other girls, doing shady stuff.
I did say that I did blame you for a little bit. Whenever I get into fights with like Tony here and there and stuff, I always say like, oh, I think it's because Richard fucked me up. Like, like I was with this guy for almost 6 years, and like he was like doing weird stuff behind my back and talking to other girls. So it gives me trust issues and stuff. Now I just blame myself because I was a fucking idiot for even like putting up with that shit.
It's good that you took that initiative and blame yourself for once.
Oh man!
Took the initiative and blamed yourself for once.
Good gracious! The bitterness does not stop after years.
God,
jeez, that's
people aren't the
nuts.
most intelligent either, but
no, it doesn't seem like they're all that reflective. I feel like she might be a smidge more intelligent than he is, but still, not exactly the most emotionally in tune. It's good that you took the initiative and blamed yourself for once. Man, oh man. I mean, if the guy is talking to other girls and doing all that stuff and then trying to control her on her life, I find it funny that the first thing he says is, after all that, it's good that you blame yourself.
Insane.
Yeah. Okay, so this next question is, why does this relationship make you emotional?
My mom didn't hold me and kiss me and tell me she loved me as a child, so I feel like that's like a mommy thing for me. That's why I'm so lovey-dovey with my son now. But with Richard, I don't know, like behind closed doors, I showed more affection. But I feel like I said, it built up resentment, I felt like he didn't deserve that, so looking back, it did suck. He probably felt really small. Sorry. I'm sorry that I made you feel that way.
It's kind of upsetting because like we could have moved on, you know, be with a different person, but we kind of just went back. Every time I think about that, it kind of gets me like upset because I could have just did something else and just not waste my time on the negativity. In the beginning.
Okay. So being with someone else, like, I mean, he was trying to be with someone else, sort of. He's trying to play the field. That's what he's actually trying to do, which he just didn't want to decommit and then be alone and then try and find someone else. That's my interpretation of what happened. As for what she said, I mean, I don't know. Let me hear that back real quick.
Sorry. I'm sorry that I made you feel that way.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So she was saying that she was sorry that she made him feel small and whatnot. I mean, granted, this is an incredibly tiny snapshot in a 6-year relationship, but it doesn't really make for great content to just sit here and say, well, I don't know what could have happened. So I do think that she has nothing to apologize for. I think, I mean, if the guy's talking to other girls and whatnot, it's still his responsibility to say, hey, I'm not happy in this relationship and I want to end this relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I think she mentioned about her mom, and it probably goes back to certain situations in her life where she felt like, you know, if things weren't going right, you know, it must be her fault, you know, even if it wasn't. So maybe it's just how her personality has developed to take on, you know, more negative than she should, or that she's actually responsible for in certain things when she can't really put her finger on why things went negatively or went the way that they did.
Yeah.
She would probably naturally just blame herself because, yeah, her parents didn't have any accountability in their lives or try to be responsible and admit to their mistakes. So probably she's trying to overcompensate.
There's a trickle-down effect, I feel like, with a relationship with your parents. I mean, if you see your parents doing certain things, either you'll follow in line and do the same thing, or you'll do a hard turn
Opposite,
and
yeah.
go the exact opposite. Yeah. Doesn't seem like there's
Yeah,
as much
we're like
middle
Jordan
ground.
Peterson right now.
Oh yeah, it's all about the
We're killing
archetypes. He's an archetypal male and she's like archetypal female.
He represents chaos.
He's the druid.
You know, if you read Exodus in the Bible.
Okay. What did your family think of your ex? This is the next question they're going to answer.
Beginning, it was cool. You know, they liked her. And then I think midway relationship, like I think probably like 2 years in, that's when they're like, oh yeah, you should dump her, or just like, should not be with her no more.
My mom knew. She would tell me, he's a nice guy, yeah, but he don't care about you. Like, you're so stupid, you're whipped. And I'm just like, no, Mom, you don't understand. I love him, he loves me. But do you want to talk about it or no?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, like, you know, I was with you the whole time through your mom's thing. And like when she finally passed, may she rest in peace. It was just so hard, Richard, because like, your mom passed away and we were going through this breakup and I was so fucking mad at you, but yeah, I was still trying to feel for you and like be there for you. Pretty cool.
Okay, so that's why I think that she's slightly, at least slightly more intelligent than he is, because like one, she's trying to be empathetic, and in a number of different situations she has tried to be empathetic, And I mean, the one time when he could have easily taken blame because it was directly his fault, talking with girls and all that, he deflected the blame onto her, which my sense is that she tried way harder than he tried. And he's just, he still hasn't grown up. He still hasn't got to that point
Yeah,
where
you
he
can
can
tell.
take responsibility.
Yeah, he just shut off and like wants to push the blame off on other people, and I don't know. Yeah, you can tell he's just a deadbeat, really.
That's what it feels like. If you go through a 6-year relationship and you're like really pissed off at your ex, but you still care about them enough to like feel for when they lose, a parent or lose something, someone incredibly important to them, like that's hard to do. I mean, that really shows that you genuinely had compassion for that person.
Yeah.
So, and it just doesn't, I don't get that sense from him whatsoever.
Nope.
Okay, I think this is the last question that they end up answering. Is there anything else you'd like to say? This is the end of that interview.
Obviously, I'm really sorry for what I did in the past, but it kind of made us stronger and made realize what.
Okay.
So straight away.
Okay. I'm really sorry.
Can't make a real apology.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, but it did make us stronger.
But
okay.
It helped us.
It may have fucked her up psychologically, but it made us stronger. Yeah, okay.
If anything, I don't think it helped anybody, but it probably showed her what to avoid in I guess her now husband, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then I guess he's probably still single.
I know. I think he's in a relationship actually.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in a relationship now. But if I were his girlfriend, I'd be like, okay, this is alarming.
Mm-hmm.
This is really alarming. It made us stronger. Like it doesn't feel like he's changed at all,
Yeah.
and she's evolved quite a bit.
Whenever you say "I'm sorry, but," that's not a
Mm-hmm.
real apology.
Who to trust, what kind of person we are, and I just don't want her to feel resentment of what I did.
I hope you're happy. I'm not mad at you and I don't hate you. I hope our relationship doesn't affect your new relationship. I want you to, tell her she's beautiful, tell her you love her, say these things because that's like something he sucked at.
Okay, so that was the end. So, oh yeah, I did want to mention one more thing. She said was it her? I think it was her that mentioned that she felt resentment. And I will say, I think that in a relationship, the moment you start feeling resentment for your partner, that's a fast track to that's it being over. Yeah, that's an incredibly hard thing. So for him to say, "Oh, I hope you don't feel resentment anymore," I mean, like, it takes a lot of communication to get over that stuff and to try and like put your feelings aside. I just can't imagine him ever putting his feelings aside and actually trying to bridge the gap between them and try to understand where she was coming from. So, yeah, overall, my impression is that he doesn't seem like a great person to be in a relationship with, at least at this moment. And although I certainly would not want to be in a relationship with her, she seems like she's far nicer, kinder than he is.
Right. Yep. Definitely a little bit more emotionally in tune with everything going on. And just kind of, I get the sense that she sees, the bigger picture in tough situations, is more mature overall. Probably genuinely learned something in this taking away from their relationship, which is good, but I don't think he probably could care less in comparison. So
Yeah, for sure.
are they Filipino? Does it say?
It didn't
Doesn't
say.
say.
Didn't say. But if you found that fun, then there's millions of those kinds of videos. I mean, some of them are really hard. Like I've watched a few of them. That was really tame. I just wanted to start out with something pretty tame, but there was one with this one woman who's like in her 40s, and this one dude who looks like he was like, I don't know, maybe 23 or something like that. And she slid into his DMs on Instagram, and they started this like romantic relationship. But he specifically told her, "Hey, I don't want a relationship." He said that multiple times. So then they had this like whole interview and what, like just the exact same setup, the exact same way. And I mean, like the internet came down on both of them. It was bad. So maybe if you're interested in watching that or going through that one next week, that would be would be a hot button one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of different things like that I enjoy looking at, learning from, analyzing, laughing at.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of videos of, people reacting to certain things, which are fun, like a comedian or music or something like that. And I definitely I'd like to do a little bit more of those.
Okay. Well, we'll call that segment "Random Stuff from the Internet."
There you go.
Because there's going to be all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
all kinds of
it's
stuff.
not just going to be serious.
No.
It's going to be dead serious.
Dead serious. All right. Well, that's all I've got.
Yeah, I think that's all I've got as well.
Okay. Well,
Happy October.
Happy October. Yeah. Man, oh man.
Any secret to, or any giveaway on what your Halloween costume is going to be this year? I know that people want to know. Any hints?
Not at the moment. I'm still trying to figure out what's in vogue, what's acceptable for me to
what are you
wear.
Gonna get canceled over?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow! Good thing there's no photographic evidence of us as kids in Halloween, because man, we would have been canceled for show.
Yeah.
Well, you would have, not me.
Thanks, Kyle. I would have been. I was a vampire. I was a devil one year. What else was I?
Canceled.
Canceled by the Christian community.
You were a Saudi prince one year.
I would like to see the visual proof of that.
Well, like I said, we don't have it. Unfortunately, we don't have it. Or fortunately, we don't.
Saudi prince. Wow. Your imagination truly knows no bounds, Mr. Hatley.
You have to keep your mind like a child's.
Oh, yeah.
Full of imagination.
Seriously.
And innocence.
And innocence. All right, folks. Well, we'll catch you next week. Maybe we'll divulge our Halloween costumes.
Oh, maybe not.
Ooh. See you next week.